Alrighty, good morning Mormondom, and those who want to come to my site just to find out how horrible the LDS Church is. Yes, I try my best not to refer to the Mormon Church or the LDS Church by their full title that Nelson orders that Mormons do. That's my way of giving him the finger, or the bird, as I learned on my New York mission in my first area in Massapequa Park, Long Island. The bird, man, the bird! We weren't coming to your house. Good times. So, what are you doing here, Travis? What are you talking about this time? This time, it's just an announcement. I will be working on a video that'll take me all day, most likely. It'll be the text of the brass plates. So yes, if you don't know, the Book of Mormon of the Mormon Church talks about a book called the Brass Plates, and the character Lehi makes a prophecy of the brass plates, that they're going to go to all the world. Everybody will know of it. And it will never be tarnished again. Never be tarnished. I don't know if that tarnish is even in there. But where is it? Yeah, nowhere. Nobody has it. But we do know some clues. One is that it is the stick of Joseph. If you're not familiar with the stick of Joseph, then you don't know Mormonism and their scripture mastery of Ezekiel 37. Take thee 2 sticks, stick of Joseph, stick of Judah, and unite them into one book. Stick of Judah is the Torah, which means the stick of Joseph is supposed to replace and restore the original Torah, which means the stick of Joseph is not only about Joseph, but it's also about Judah. And that's exactly what the brass plates says it is. It is handed down from the descendants of Joseph. That's why Laban is said to have had possession of it in the story, and Lehi's sons have to go get it and bring it with them as they flee to the promised land right before the Babylonian captivity. And so they're looking at the plates when they obtain them, and they say, oh, wow, it's got a genealogy of our fathers through Joseph. So we knew that we were descendants of Joseph. A record of Joseph, book of Joseph, stick of Joseph. And it has the record of all the kings of Judah. The stick of Judah. And so, yeah, and it says it all has all of the stuff of the 5 books of Moses, including the creation account and blah, 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 Adam and Eve. And so that's what the brass plates are. It's the prophecy of Ezekiel fulfilled. And Mormons have been curious, and I have a new Russian friend. I'm still a little bit leery. You're a little bit over anxious to get a record of it. I've demonstrated in my video how it works. So all you need access to is pictures of the Egyptian glyphs. It's that simple. Know a little bit about the mythology. That simple. And you can do your own. But apparently nobody can do it. I'm the only one. I don't understand. Okay, so because of everybody's curiosity and one Russian man's urgency to have a document of it, I will work on the document today and put it to video as I go along, or after I finish it, something like that. And I'll present it here, because people who have gone to my site talking about my theory work about how the Genesis stories come from Egyptian documents, and I show it's a picture thing. You don't see this. You see pictures of Egyptian glyphs and stuff. And even on my video where I go over the Egyptian temple text, the Egyptian temple ritual, people are like, hey, this isn't the brass plates. They're supposed to be plates. And one person comments, oh, the plates were taken away, so we don't have access to them. Guys, you know, consulting a lawyer yesterday, religions are able to deceive people without ramifications, repercussions, punishments. And so they don't have to tell their membership that they've been lying to them this whole time, that they've been leading them astray, that they've been deceiving them on reality and truth. It's apparently legal for a religion to be a scam con artist. But there are some things they can't get away with. More on that, hopefully, soon. Ooh, a teaser. Yeah, the church I've already exposed as being a fraud. They don't have the key of translation. You know, those priesthood keys that Jesus said he was giving to Peter after changing his name from Simon to Seer. No, not Seer, Peter. What's the Egyptian translation of Peter? Seer. I tried to get it put into the Mormon scripture footnotes. If you're not paying attention to my videos, you're way behind. I used to be in the church curriculum department. The 2009 editions of the foreign language scriptures is different than our English. They have a guide to the scriptures rather than the topical guide and the Bible dictionary. And so you can't just throw in a different index and have the footnotes still referring to the topical guide and Bible dictionary. You have to change the footnotes to correspond with the new guide to the scriptures. That's what I was a part of. And then I was so good at what I was doing, which I wasn't supposed to be doing, so they elevated me to the top committee to oversee the whole project. And it was a group of 4 of us. So it wasn't just me alone. But yeah, I certainly threatened David in that group. 16 years as a CES instructor and a nuclear physicist. No, they've got to be homosexual. Sodom was homosexual. No, Ezekiel says they were neglecting the poor. And so I couldn't change that either because of section 107, where you have to have 100% agreement. If there's one dissenting voice, nothing gets done. Nothing gets changed. The lamest thing ever. 100%. Nothing is 100% unless you force everybody to agree with you. So there are still many errors in the foreign language version as well. However, much of my changes got put in. So those who speak a foreign language and have the foreign language scriptures are going to have an opportunity to increase in intelligence far greater than we English speakers. So be careful. Church is going to be taken over by those foreign speakers. So, yeah, when you guys remember Nelson talking about, oh, I found an Egyptian, and he came across the Book of Mormon and wanted to translate it into Egyptian. And that's the rumor that went around. My home teachers at the time came over and said, oh yeah, the Book of Mormon's been translated into Egyptian. I'm going, you sure? No, it wasn't. He was Arabic living in Egypt. The Book of Mormon was translated into Arabic. And of course the church, not wanting to be outdone, because the whole key concept, remember? The church has the keys of translation, no one else. So this man who thought, hey, I'll translate the Book of Mormon into Arabic, he came up with the translation, and he was passing the word to everybody. Here's the Book of Mormon in Arabic. I did the translation myself. That's probably a horrible Arabic accent, but nevertheless, notwithstanding, it was brought to the attention of the church because he was converting, and the church said, "Oh yeah, thank you. We'll take it from here." They did their own translation with people who had their hands laid upon them and were given authority to translate properly and correctly. Oh man. So yeah, that's what's going on, guys. The church claims that they and they alone have the keys of translation, that they and they alone can translate ancient documents, even foreign documents of modern languages. So, yeah, if you are taught the language, you know the language, and you can translate. It's that simple. That you now have keys because you've gone to school, learned the language. The thing about the ancient languages, though, is that it's assuming that nobody is able to decipher such languages through the scientific processes, as I have done with Paleo-Hebrew and Egyptian glyphs. And that's where we're at. The church claims they have sole authority to come up with correct translations, and I'm saying, hey, I've figured it all out, and I don't have those keys. So yes, Mormons are in a conundrum yet again. I did a book, Mormon Conundrum, having to do with the dilemma Mormons are faced with Brigham Young, because he had no authority to become the president of the church. And look at all the things he did. So yes, the church does not have the keys of authority, let alone translation. And I've gone over it with you guys in other videos. Excuse me. That Benson, 25 years after obtaining original manuscripts of the source documents for the Bible, comes out in a First Presidency statement and says, "Oh, we don't have any original manuscripts of the Bible to find out what an accurate translation would be." Oh boy. Talk about the biggest blunder ever by a religious leader. And so yeah, the church has had access to the original ancient documents of the Bible, and they've done nothing with it. They could have shown to the world and to the members of the church. The members of the church would go, "Wow, yeah, we rule." Nope. Oh, we're a fool. Yeah. They've done nothing. The ancient Egyptian documents are numerous, despite the Library of Alexandria being burned on a couple of occasions, once by Christians, once by Muslims, and so yippee-ki-yay. And it's unbelievable. And so yes, I will be working on a textual translation of the brass plates, and it's not taken from brass plates. Duh. Brass plates were a Freemasonic encoding in the Book of Mormon to signify the value of such a writing, that they need to be preserved as necessary on brass plates rather than papyrus, because papyrus gets withered and flakes in your hand, not in your mouth. M&M's. I mean, going to a separate consumption of the trail mix that I had for the Super Bowl, rather than continually making new and new trail mix. So alrighty, so that's my plan for today, and we'll see if the Russian is a Russian spy who's going to purposely take documents, twist them around to promote a propaganda machine against the church and the United States and me. Because you know that's what they do, right? You've been paying attention to left-wing media rather than Fox News, who tells you nothing about what's going on. Of course you don't know. That's what Russia does. That's what corrupt governments do. That's what the mafia does. That's what crime bosses do. That's what gangs do. You know, anybody who wants to do a propaganda campaign, that's how you do it. You take information, you alter it, and you disseminate it as the truth of the original source. So be careful of that. Yeah, always come to me for the brass plates translation. If somebody else is saying click here to get a free copy, stay away. And so yeah, YouTube had that problem when I started in audiobooks with ACX. I would see, well, one of my narrators brought it to my attention. Hey, they're advertising our audiobooks. And so I had to try to report them to YouTube, and YouTube would take them down eventually, but more would keep popping up, and I couldn't keep track. I couldn't keep up with all of them that were popping up. And so I hope nobody was dumb enough to click on those and go to that site hoping to obtain an audiobook through that source. That is the real definition of clickbait. So stay away from those. Those are bad news. When your screen pops up and wants you to go to a different location to get something, no, that's a trap. It's a trap. Admiral Akbar. So, alrighty, I'm rambling, not getting to it. I gotta shower and shave today anyway, so, alrighty. So, yeah, you probably won't hear from me for the rest of the day. Woo, yeah! But I've already given you plenty of clues of upcoming events. So, yeah, like I said, the gloves are off, church is destroyed, and they've done it to themselves. I'm just exposing it, trying to get members to understand it, so that they too will leave. And so, yeah, we'll see. There's some concern because I have to make sure to use pictures in my book that Amazon will accept. They've been, I can't think of a nice word to use to explain my frustration for them when I last was publishing. It was almost as if they were purposely saying, we don't want you anymore. We don't want to make money off of you, because the amount of money they make off of a sale of my books, so if I make 200 in a month, they are actually making around 1,000. So you'd think that they'd want to be nicer to their authors, especially those who are selling consistently. So yeah, and they can't handle ancient scripts. And it has to be a modern script, and Kindle, forget about it. I can't even do that accent right. Yeah, so this is going to be a 8.5 by 11 book, and so it won't go to Kindle. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do about Kindle because everybody wants Kindle. All right, so we'll see, and then I'll do my own audio because I can turn my videos and convert them into an MP3 audio, and then make it available on my website, and people can get it there. So we'll see what we can do. Alrighty, so I'm back as an author after being a vlogger for all this time since I last published. Alrighty, yeah, that's it.